What up, my man of society? It is your host with the most, Shadow Loke, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and comment and all that. It's free. It don't cost anything. You help my channel get into the algorithm. I would highly appreciate it. You know what I mean? Join the Madness Society. Now, I always get asked, on my other channel, what channels do I watch? As I say, I don't watch, most prison channels, so what content do I watch? So I'm going to talk about a few channels right here that I'm subscribed to, for those who are curious to look, or finding, other new channels to watch. Here are some of the ones that I like to watch. First one is Nonstop Sports. For those who are interested in sports, you got a sports channel that talks about bios and all that, so it breaks down people's, careers and all that from basketball, football, different sports. For those who like sports, because I'm a big sports fan. So Mexican Heat TV is where the up and coming artists who freestyle, show off their skills and freestyle battles, you know what I mean? For those who are into music. Manny the Jaguar Paul. Now Manny the Jaguar Paul is a homeboy, a solid homeboy, already an older homeboy, who talks about, his life experiences, and he also talks about other subjects. He gives Clecha, a good individual, you know what I mean? From the Iwanay Valley, for those who are interested, he's a solid individual. You know what I mean? Based on his, time behind bars and, just wisdom. M Star Media, for those who are looking, she's a cop watcher, making sure they do their jobs right. And now you get to see they get out of the line. SNES Drunk is a gaming channel, who talks about, old school games. For those who like gaming, I like to game it. Savloke is, he's obviously a gang member, from Colorado, right? So he talks about his stories, how it is over there, his time behind bars, the whole gangster lore in Colorado and all of that. He's a good individual right there, Go check him out. He also talks sports. If you're into football, he talks about sports. He's the Broncos fan. You already know. So he's an individual. Frank's Vibe is a channel who talks about Chicano rap, different Chicano, topics, and just the latest when it comes to Chicano rap. So if you're into Chicano rap, you'll definitely dig Frank's Vibes. You know what I mean? He's definitely solid. Here are two wrestling channels that I like to watch. I'm into wrestling with my boys, channels that we can watch together. Some wrestling for those who are into wrestling. West Coast Graffiti is a podcast who's from Long Beach, who breaks down, real life events. Go peep him out. He's another solid individual that I like to scope out. Loked Out TV, he reacts to videos, talks about his point of views, Chicano rap, up and coming stuff, different topics. You'll dig it. Mr. Capone, obviously people know who Capone is, so he gives his perspective from his, point of view. I like to scope out his channel, you know what I mean? The homie Hangouts, a northerner who breaks down different, real life topics, from his perspective, for those who are interested. The Hater World, obviously, reacts to videos. He's a solid individual. He's a cool cat, cool head on his shoulders, you know what I mean? He gets down, The LA Times talks about real life events also, and also the gangster lore. For those who are interested, you could also subscribe to that channel. The G-Lo Show, for those who are into music and all that. He's African American, but he's a homeboy who just plays music, and it's a good time. Variant Comics is a comic, they break down comics. I like comic books. My boys like comic books. We like to watch them together. So, Variant Comics is a good one. The Infographic Show, talks about different topics, scenarios, and, knowledge for those who are into knowledge. Tony Vision, he obviously interviews, Chicano rappers. So go check that out if you're into the music scene. Ghost Town Production is a homeboy of mine who makes beats. So if you're interested in, watching the beat making and new beats, go watch him. Duno's World, obviously he's Raza, and, he has a podcast, and he's funny. You know what I mean? Gotta support the Brown. Dusty Vision is another solid individual who interviews, gang members and talks about music, hip-hop, all of that, if you're interested in that. Hood Stocks, obviously Lucky, interviews different, gang members and rappers and all kinds of stuff on his podcast as well. There's another solid one. Grind Moan Cypher is, where different rappers go on there and they battle rap or they show off their skills. So for those into battle rap MC stuff, it's right there. Hood News Media, he talks about, latest hood news that's out there. If you're interested in that, peep him out. From a comedy sense, he brings it. Hood War Stories, he breaks down barrios. He's an African American. Sometimes I don't agree always with his content, but hey, it's still some solid content. Hoodie from the Hood is a crib out of San Diego. Solid individual, interviews gang members, breaks down matters from his perspective. Go subscribe to Hoodie from the Hood. Javier Hernandez, he's a homie who's from the IE who, talks about viral stuff over there. Also another solid, channel, right there. Milk, I'm pretty sure everyone knows who Milk is. He reacts to videos. I think he's cool. You know what I mean? I like Milk. I'm saying Incredible Javier talks about real subjects, mental health, all of that. Solid channel. Go subscribe to Incredible Javier. He's another solid individual. Here's another channel that I like to watch who talks about our cultura and our roots and breaks down the history. And you could check him out on IG as well. Kev Mack, another individual that interviews, former, gang members, obviously black gangs and stuff like that, but a solid channel I like to watch. Jordan B. Patterson. Here's a channel that talks about psychology and everything. I don't always agree with him, but I do agree with some stuff. Not always, but good show. Josh is a cooking channel. He's funny. He cooks. For those who are interested in recipes, that fool gets down and he's hilarious. Johnny Harris, he breaks down bios and talks about, sensitive subjects for those who are interested. I don't always agree with him, but, he gets down. King Nico, funny, he's a black homeboy, who just, makes, funny, he talks about his music, but makes jokes. Kings and Generals is a history channel for those who are interested in knowing about history in itself. You go watch Kings and Generals. I like that channel. Latin Beats TV, obviously, the latest Chicano rap music, anything that has to do with Latino music, bam, go check that out. 16 The Life is a black, he's a black brother who talks about his experience behind the walls and all of that, Good channel. Loked Out TV, I think I already talked about Loked Out TV. Damn, we're going to put him on here twice. That's how good his channel is. But go subscribe. A Wild Situation, another reaction channel who gives his perspective. I think he's a northerner or he's from up north. But yeah, he's funny. He gets down. 616, he's a gamer who talks about wrestling and gaming. For those who are interested in gaming, go watch him. Baker Dozen, he's a podcast who plays, Chicano rap music, talks about, different subjects. I like his content as well, FKM. 3C Films, he talks about the latest movies that are coming out, and he's raza, you know what I mean? So he talks about the latest movies coming out. Drunken Chef, another cooking channel, which I dig. Go subscribe to Drunken Chef if you want to know new recipes and just, the whole cooking thing. American Cholo, you already know, he's doing stuff for the raza. I don't always agree with him, but, got to support what he's doing for the people. Andy Hoops, for those who are interested in basketball, he's a basketball channel, talks about bios and all of that. Good channel, for the hoops. Bay Area Times, he's from up north, and he talks about different subjects as well, from his perspective. Another good channel. Big D, Keeping It Real, he brings, his real life perspectives and talks about football. So if you're interested in either subject, go check him out. Cinemills TV, he interviews, former gang members and, different individuals. Pretty much brings you interviews for his channel. It's a good channel. Cali's Most Dangerous, he talks about gangs and the whole gang, lore. He's a good channel. I don't always agree with some of his stuff, but hey, he gets down. Cholo Trucker brings you the real life stories, behind molestation and other topics and trucking and all of that. So he's a real channel. Brightside, they just give you, interesting fun facts for the day, different topics. I dig it, you know what I mean? Company Man, he talks about how companies started, their whole entire history behind the companies. Something I find interesting. Like I said, I'm just everywhere. I like to keep my mind everywhere. Vlad TV obviously interviews, celebrities, rappers, athletes, different people. Dubs, obviously a prison channel, probably one of the few prison channels that I actually watch. He's a solid individual, you know what I mean? Dubs right there doing his thing. Gangster Frank Gucci is an ex-northerner who talks about, the Chicano culture, Chicano rap, different subjects. Go check him out, Gangster Frank Gucci. Here's another channel I like to watch, another one that has to do with history. For those who are interested in history, how country started and, and all of that, there's a channel. Here's one of my favorite channels of all time. You know, one of the top favorite channels of all time, Naked Science, is one of the ones that I watch a lot. For those who are interested in anything that has to do with, you know, cosmology, astrology, anything that has to do with science, you know what I mean? There's different, you know, bios on their biofilms, you know, that talk about different, you know, from you know, the quantum realms and all, you know, all this and that, you know, theories, right? Time travel theories, because, you know, mathematically you know, it's plausible. It's just that we just don't know how to do it yet. Isn't that a trip, you know? And they talk about different subjects on there, but that has to do with science. For those who are interested, you know, I'm a science fanatic, so obviously I dig it. You know what I mean? And obviously my favorite channel in YouTube. This is my favorite channel, the one that I watch the most of. It's probably the number one channel I would say, which is Academy of Ideas. Is a psychology channel. For those who are interested in different, you know, philosophers, psychologists, and overall just a different aspect on how to view life, you know, from great, you know, psychologists and philosophers. It's a channel that I definitely dig a lot. But overall, you know, those are the channels that I'm into. If you guys are curious, go check them out. Also, if you're into Chicano rap, you can check out Playboy 1300. You know, he's obviously upstate Sureño who brings the good music. Go peep him out as well. But those are just channels, some of the channels I like to watch. I know there's more, but overall, those are some of the ones, you know. So if any of you guys are interested, you know, go subscribe. You know, and Shadow, we out.